Yo, what is up everyone? This is OJ and welcome to another PE discussion video. And I haven't had one of these good discussions in a while, but one of my good buddies over there, SuperMetaldave at SuperMetaldave64 on his channel, uploaded a video about Nintendo as far as the Nintendo Switch and being a little concerned that there was too many ports on the plate for the lineup of the Nintendo Switch. And he definitely wants to see more new games. And you know what? I have to 100% agree that I do think that new games are always important when it comes to a console. You always have to make sure that you get a variety of different games on your system and that you have a lot of good games that are coming out, and it can't all be ports. Like, it has to be a lot of content as far as variety goes. But I will say this, when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, it's in a very unique position, and I think it's in a position that the Wii U did not capitalize on, because if you look at what Nintendo's been doing compared to what Microsoft and Sony's been doing for the past 2-3 generations, it actually makes a little bit more sense for Nintendo to do some ports or remasters over Microsoft and Sony, or over other third-party developers, whatever the case is. And I'll tell you guys the reason why I feel that way. Now, if you look at Nintendo's architecture, Nintendo's structure with what they've done with the generation, so the past decade, it's been the Wii generation, right? The casual generation, and there hasn't been as many core games. At least there's been core games, but not enough for some people. And if you look at the graphical improvements and differences between the Wii U, and the upcoming Nintendo Switch, it's very vast when it comes to certain things. How you play certain games, the graphical capabilities, everything is a lot different. Now, that's also the case as far as graphical capabilities with PS4 and Xbox One, but just due to how PS3 and Xbox 360 started out the generations and how they finished as far as online play and graphical capabilities, how the games looked, when you remaster or port something, there isn't too much of like a major difference where people are going to be like, okay, yeah, like this is like must have. I mean, obviously there's a few games that have done very well, like The Last of Us Remastered, but if you look at the online play and things like that, it's pretty much the same across the board outside of some graphical touch-ups. Now, with Nintendo, it has not been the same. You went from the Wii, which the online was just horrible. Nintendo's online was so bad. It was so bad with the whole friend code situation and all of that. And the graphics were 480p. That's the highest it could go. It would have made sense for Nintendo to remaster more of the Wii lineup so you can actually have the games in HD, and so you can actually have better online play that wasn't attached to friend codes. So it actually makes sense that Nintendo would have, if Nintendo did do more remasters on the Wii U. Now, they did some. They did The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. They did The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, but that was really it. Now, they did have some Wii games that they re-released, you know, Metroid Prime, stuff like that, but those were still basically the same game. They weren't redone. They were just the same game put on the Wii U. I actually think it would have been to their benefit to have a few more ports in the first year of the Wii U. I think that actually would have helped them if there were more ports. Oh, and there was also Monster Hunter. Yeah, Monster Hunter Tri. That actually did really well for them and helped boost console sales pretty much across the board. If they had a few more ports in that gap between like Monster Hunter and Pikmin, I think that would have really helped out. So you have to look at it by a console basis and like what's going on. What is the landscape? What's going on? What did they do last generation compared to this generation? And if you look from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, I think it's somewhat obvious that they're going to have to make sure that this system has games very frequently, but they cannot they cannot do what the Wii U did and wait and have to wait before they get their big games out. They must have games at a consistent clip, because you don't know where the third-party support will fall. Maybe they are dealing up to have great third-party support, but Nintendo needs to make sure, even if something falls through, even if something happens, like with the Wii U as far as sales go, that they have their own backs covered. And that's why I think that it's okay that the Nintendo Switch is getting these ports. And here's the thing, guys. Another thing about this is this. Nintendo's online, once again, yes, they made improvements from the Wii to the Wii U, but the Wii U's online was still not ideal. There's things like friend limits as far as how many friends you can have. You can only have 100. The messaging system on Wii U was absolutely trash. Many games didn't feature invites. Many games were missing so many features that you would expect from a modern console released in 2012, that you would expect from a phone or any type of device, electronic device, things like on-screen notifications. There were so many things that the Wii U was missing when it came to the online experience. If the Nintendo Switch can improve upon those things, then it makes sense that games with heavy online multiplayer will be remastered for the Nintendo Switch in order to have a superior version of it that works a lot better and that's a lot more fun. Guys, I love Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, but the online in that game, while much better than Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the online is very bad. Like when you play random players, you can't see their connection strength, and that leads to super laggy games. There's obviously missing features when it comes to online. No friend invites when it comes to playing games. I mean, you can invite someone, but it's very haphazardly. You have to be in a room, and then that person has to go and click on, like, see you in the friends list, then click on there. There's certain parts of the menu where you can't even access the home menu as far as Super Smash Bros. Online. So if you wanted to add someone, you have to go to a particular part in the menu. There's so many issues with the online and just how to organize things. I got so frustrated, I stopped streaming Super Smash Bros. I used to stream it pretty much every single week. I stopped streaming it because it made me so frustrated trying to play with my users and play with my fan base here on YouTube that I just stopped. And I stopped playing online because of the lag. I couldn't see people's connections. It was horrible. It was really horrible. So it makes sense for them to say, okay, let's take this game that was wildly successful on a very unsuccessful platform and put that on the Wii U to ensure that we have new people. Plus, you have to look at it this way, guys. The Wii U only sold 13 million units. That's it, 13.5 or something like that. There are so many people who didn't play these games when it comes to Smash Bros, when it comes to Mario Kart, which is coming out as well, when it comes to Splatoon. All of these games would have sold remarkably better if the console sold more units. That's just a fact. And if the Switch turns out to be a hit, then you're going to get a lot of people to get a chance to play this one. Yes, I understand some of you guys will say, oh, well, they should just buy a Wii U if they want to play them. But what if they want a better experience? What if they want a better online and they know that the Nintendo Switch can do this? Then obviously they're going to gravitate towards that. Going down the list so far, according to Tom Phillips at least, we have Mario Kart 8.5, we have Splatoon, we have The Legend of Zelda, which I guess you can look at it as a Wii U port or as its own game, and who knows what else that they're going to do as far as ports go. But to me, it makes sense. It just makes sense. Plus, there's going to be more. Obviously, we've heard about the whole Mario RPG Rabbids game. There's going to be a brand new 3D Mario game. There's going to be a brand new Pikmin 4 game. It looks like Pokemon Stars is coming, which is going to be either a port of Sun and Moon with some new features or the third game. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out, how it's going to look. But at the same time, I mean, some people are calling that a port as well. Who knows at this point? But to me, I think it's just something that Nintendo kind of had to do based on the sales and just kind of based on the features of those online games. That's the biggest thing. In like Splatoon, I mean, Splatoon obviously has a lot of online issues when it first came out. As far as how to join with friends, and there's no voice chat, and that's a whole nother thing, guys. None of these games have voice chat, or some of them are very limited and it's only through the gamepad. There needs to be better ways to connect with your friends and invite them and all of that, and hopefully the Nintendo Switch can offer that. And if it does, then it completely makes sense that Nintendo would bring over their biggest online games such as Mario Kart, Splatoon, and Super Smash Bros. Over to the Nintendo Switch. It just makes too much sense not to do it. I can understand the concern. Nintendo still needs to show us that they're going to make a bunch of new games, but I think we're going to be okay in that front because we still don't know what a lot of Nintendo's teams are doing. For example, Monolith Soft has been kind of making a little bit of buzz, talking about working on their next game, and they've been hiring a lot. So what are they working on for the Nintendo Switch? We also have multiple different Zelda teams or sub-Zelda teams that could be starting up new projects. We also have Retro Studios, Level 5. There are so many Nintendo developers that still have secret games that we don't know about. So I still think it's a little too early to get concerned as far as new games go. Let's wait till the January 12th reveal. Right now, Nintendo's basically just showing off like, hey, we're going to have games as far as to fill the gaps. And I think that's what Smash Bros. And that's what a lot of these games are. Mario Kart 8.5, as some are calling it. Really to fill the gaps. I mean, and that's what the Wii U did not have. It did not have enough games to fill the gaps. And even if you look at the Wii U's first year lineup, I still don't think it's better than this lineup with a bunch of ports. Obviously, the best game, like I talked about before, is probably Super Mario 3D World as far as new game goes. You have Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, you had Pikmin. There were some great games, but there was a lot of kind of fluff and mini game collections, like with Wii Sports and with Game & Wario and things like that. So this to me seems like a little bit more solid lineup, a little bit more of a gamer's game lineup when you talk about 3D Mario, RPGs, Splatoon. You have stuff like Legend of Zelda. Looks like we're going to have some EA support here or there with some games. So I do think that it's going to be a more solid lineup overall than the Wii U, and much better. And it's going to attract many people who didn't purchase the Nintendo Wii U to purchase the Nintendo Switch, and you can potentially get those 3DS dudes. I think that's the biggest thing Nintendo really needs to focus on too, is making sure that people who bought the 3DS that didn't buy the Wii U buy the Nintendo Switch. So it's really cool that they're releasing stuff like Pokemon Stars or Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Sun and Moon HD, whatever you want to call it. I'm glad that they're doing stuff like that. So I actually think it's a good move, and definitely not a negative thing considering how the first year of the Wii U turned out. And like I said, we still need to see the full lineup of all of Nintendo's other developers, in addition to more third-party games that haven't been announced. Atlas is working on something. I wonder what that is. Personally, for me, now this is just a side note, I would love to see Tokyo Mirage Sessions remastered, because the gamepad, I'm sorry to say this, but the gamepad in that game literally like docked it down like 1.5 points for me or so. Like having to look down at that gamepad, even if you're using the Pro Controller, heck, even if you're using the gamepad the whole time, it might not be as annoying, but if you're using the Pro Controller, having to look at the gamepad instead of just being able to look at the TV for messages and they just pop up randomly, that was such a buzzkill at times, having to look back and forth and check that gamepad for messages. Man, like, I really want them to remaster that game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and put it out on the Nintendo Switch. Please? Because I really don't like looking at that gamepad for things, looking back and forth. It made me not replay the game on the harder difficulty because of that. Seriously, like, it was that frustrating to me. But I know some of you guys don't care about that. Plus, it sold really bad on the Nintendo Wii U, so I'm not sure if they're going to remaster it for the Switch. But hey, that might be motivation to do so. It also came out at the end of the Nintendo Wii U's life cycle, so, I mean, it was like, whatever at that point. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What's your thoughts on Nintendo getting a lot of ports, but seeming to get some new games as well? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next video. Peace.